Hello YouTube friends, so we are continuing the Historic Brawl Challenge where we try to get 5 wins before we get 5 losses. Today we are playing Shalai, the Voice of Plenty. So she's a flyer that gives you, your planeswalkers, and all your other creatures hexproof, and for 6 mana she puts a +1 counter on every creature you control. So this is pretty much just a green, mainly aggro deck. It's kind of mid-range with an aggro bend I suppose, but yeah, it's just about getting high-value creatures out and trying to beat my opponent down before they can kill us. Pretty simple deck. Let's see how it does. Well, hopefully we'll draw some land, but at least we got a couple of plays for 2 lands, so I'll keep this and see how it goes. This Gallagher would just potentially get us some treasure tokens as well. It's not bad either. Do that first. Alright, well, we only missed 1 land drop and we got a little bit of ramp, so we should be alright. Death Touch. He forces things to block him. Oh, that's not too bad. Sadly, I don't have anything to kill it, but... So whatever I play here will have to block. I think I might just play myself a Samurai. So let's do that and get a treasure token first. Or to the dungeon as well. It's really what I want right now. So now I'll at least be able to use the Samurai to save my Varus. I don't think I want to play the champion into this Death Toucher. I would not have minded playing a Shalai this time. So that kind of makes sense. Hopefully we can draw some removal for him. Have enough mana to hold up, settle the wreckage. Decided not to attack. Okay, well, that's good for us. Okay, so I think I'm just going to keep holding up my settle the wreckage mana here then. I think we'll just do this, try and kill that thing off. I don't want to keep this guy alive. Alright. I don't think I want to talk Goblin too much. I don't think I need any more treasure counters. So. See if this guy wants to try and kill my champion. It's going to be bad for him if he doesn't kill this. He really wants that Varus dead. That's fine. Got him to spend a lot on that at least. Good, that thing's dead. He still decided he didn't want to kill the champion. Well, I think that's a mistake for him. Glad for it though. So now we'll play Towski. And now my guys are pretty much going to be unblockable. Yeah, I think it's worth doing this too. I don't care about the settled wreckage that much this turn. I think my opponent definitely held back too long with that creature there. Should have played flank first. And now we still can settle the wreckage if I need to. I don't think I really need to, but Nyx Bloom. Kind of scary. Hopefully we can draw some of our many removal spells. Damn. I've got all the best creatures on the top end, huh? Pretty good draw from my opponent. But at least our draw is at least mediocre, so that's something. Okay. Well, opponent's refusal to attack is really good for us. I guess I'll put this down too. I guess it's worth playing another one to get the champion up to the point where he can only block with his one creature. Should I decide if I want to play the Myrel? Yeah, I guess I'll play the Myrel. Pretty easy. Your opponent played a little too defensively there. Kind of just handed us that win on the platter because he had such good creatures there. It wasn't a guaranteed win for sure. Well, Vorinclex is pretty annoying. Or at least we have a removal spell in our starting hand for it. It's a very good draw. Might not normally overcommit this many creatures to the board, but against a mono green deck, there's no real board wipes to worry about. So overwhelming the board with creatures should work pretty well. For 3. I wonder what I was going to get with that. That makes sense. Alright, so I want to save 2 mana to kill his Vorinclex right when he plays it. It's kind of unfortunate we didn't draw a land here. I'll probably have to lose the Oran Reef. Unless I want to save it with my L-Seeds, which I don't think I do. I think I do want to get a +1 counter on my Speak for the Heavens, so. Might not even block because it's kind of risky, actually. If I had any kind of a buff spell, I would just lose this creature. Yeah, so he didn't take the chance. Good. Alright, so we can do this and still have mana up for Fateful Absence. And we can even protect my Shalai if I have to. I doubt I'll need to. But I'm expecting my opponent's just going to go right for Vorinclex here. You can have a boot. Okay. That was a couple of quick wins. With this deck, it usually is pretty quick. Snap decks. I don't think I've seen the snap decks in Brawl in a long time. Alright, we got mana. Hopefully we can draw some good creatures. Got a way to protect Shalai, which is nice, against a deck with black in it. Black or white. What does he do again exactly? 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. You gain 4. So it's just a kind of random Mardu mutate deck, I guess. Let's start with the Goose. Let's go for the mana first. Even though I'll technically be able to play my Shalai next turn, considering my opponent is playing Mardu, that's going to probably have a lot of removal in it. So I want to wait until I can at least have a mana up to protect my Shalai with the ability to do this. So I'm not going to do anything this turn, just play land. Probably just end up making a food token. Use end step. But we'll have Fateful Absence open if he does something, some creature I don't want. If he plays some land I want to explode, I feel the ruin as well. It's tempting to do it to this too, but probably wouldn't really matter that much. I'd rather save this for a land that has a little more usefulness in case he has any. Playing a Lauren, huh? Okay. No reason to care about the life. I'll just let him kill it. Make another one. Alright, so now we can have Shalai with some protection. And if he wants to trade his 2-1 for my 1-1, I'm kind of okay with that, since I have Tameo Safekeeping in hand. That should protect me from most things. Ooh, I wonder if he's going to let us draw cards. Wrath of God. Went fine. Of course, we're running out of gas now, so hopefully we can draw a land so we can start using Shalai's ability. Alright, well I can still use the ability to just tap the Paradise Druid, but it's probably worth doing now. And then next time I'll start need to get the Oran Reef going. Just go for the beatdown, that's what this deck does best. Turn a 1. He gets to get me down to 1 creature though. That's fine. This will keep my bounty agent. That's surprising. Alright. Should have attacked first, technically, but it doesn't really matter. Just keep loading up the board. Sure. This guy's basically just Mardu removal, apparently. And annoying cards. That's fine. So make, what is it? Non-basic lands enter tapped. I don't really care about that guy too much. But my opponent's low on life, so I think I will do this to get it out of the way. Ancient Copper Dragon. That's bad news. Hopefully we can draw some more removal. That kind of would have been nice earlier, probably. And that's not legendary, so I can't blow it up with my bounty agent, which is too bad. Oh well. I'll probably just lose to an Ancient Copper Dragon, which is really disappointing. Especially after my opponent played so badly all game. No surprise there. least my opponent doesn't have many cards in his hand. That Hellish Norn too. Okay. Those got to be the two best possible creatures in his whole deck. So I guess we just lose to bad variants. Oh well. Not much I could have drawn about to do anything about that unless I just drew an extraordinary amount of creature removal, which I didn't. Can't beat the opponent's nut draw when our draw is only average. Oh, it's another removal deck. Having all kinds of fun games today. Ooh, best one drop in the game too. Okay. At least we won't. Most likely won't be giving him any cards on S%. His deck is mostly creatures. And the few non-creatures I do have in it, I can pay the extra mana on when I decide to play them, so that's not an issue. Should play this first. Works really good with the Luminarch too, because when I put a counter on it from the Luminarch, it'll start tapping for 3 mana. So it's very good synergy with the Incubation. Giada. I want the other mana. Yeah, I probably do. I'm assuming my Shalai will die here because we're playing against a white-black deck, which is going to have a lot of removal most likely. But we got to get through it some way, so rather he used it his turn on killing my Shalai than advancing his board state, so I'm fine with it. And if he doesn't happen to have removal, that's even better. Good thing we had a pretty decent draw this time. Opponent's got another nut draw, apparently. I think I do. Oh, I should have played this first. Forgot he had the thing where he hits the next creature that you play. But I guess it doesn't really matter in the end because he's going to get +1 counter regardless. But I do want to save 3 mana up for the Giant Killer to kill the Adeline when he attacks with it. he gets a card off of it. It's too bad. I did forget about that, but I still would have done it anyways. Doesn't matter. Now all our stuff is unblockable because of the champion, which is nice. And can get rid of his Giada here, I think. That way, if he misses a land drop, he still can't play his commander. That Giada taps for mana for angels. And I don't think I even care about killing this Esper Sentinel very much. Play this first though, because I want to keep getting counters on my champion and it gets bigger whenever I play a creature. Where do I put the counter this time? I think I'll just start bumping up the Shalai. Looks like my opponent does have some sort of instant. Don't know what it is, but he keeps getting stopped by the game, so he's got something. Not surprising, but not a problem. Next turn, I'll probably just play the Swiftfoot Boots and at least have the ability to equip them onto Shalai right away next time I play her. Also depends on what my opponent does. If he taps out, then maybe we'll do both. Yeah, he's just over. I mean, he was pretty unlucky to win there. He needed a board wipe pretty much right then and there. Must not have had it. That was good. Opponent had a very good draw there, but so did we, so it worked out. Well, this will probably be a pretty annoying match. Traxo is very powerful, and it tends to be built in a very controlled manner. And control decks are usually favored against kind of aggro-y decks like this. Still doesn't mean we can't win, but it's less likely. And I'm not sure if this is the hand to do it. In some ways it's a pretty good hand, and in other ways it's not great. Esper Sentinel should draw me some good amount of cards against him, especially if I can get some counter on it and stuff like that. I think I'm going to keep it. Definitely need to draw some land, but I mean that's pretty much always true anyways. Green Spirit's good. And it's always possible that we're playing against some really weird brew of a Traxo deck, not just like a straight up control decks. If that ends up being the case, we have a higher chance. I'm going to go for damage first. So we get Shalai down next turn, and also have some protection for her, what the snake's going to do. Death Spell. It's a weird card for an Atraxa deck to be running, so maybe this is a not usual Atraxa deck. It's definitely not the best kind of removal spell you can be playing. But it does ramp him, so I guess it makes some sense. Let's hope he doesn't get anything too good off of it. Hellish Norn, right off the top. Right. Oh, so much for not getting anything too good off of it. That's a pretty good Atraxa trigger. Just depends on what he picks, I guess. Yeah, I think our chances of winning this game just went significantly down. Especially since we haven't drawn any real removal spells. Oh, okay, he did take the Hellish Norn, which, I mean, the Hellish Norn isn't the worst thing for us, but it's not great. Eyes everywhere, and okay. Alright, well, he didn't take everything that I think was the most powerful cards he could have taken there. Hey, we drew a removal spell, but I don't have a way to remove Atraxa with Ram through right now. So I guess we just have to depend on Settle the Wreckage, which is not really a position I want to be in. But I guess that's all we can do. It's even kind of tempting to hang on to this Settle the Wreckage until next turn. Should have just played my Beast Whisperer maybe, but yeah, I think I'm gonna see if I can Settle the Wreckage, the Hellish Norn as well. Actually thinking about Ram through on his Ornithopter just so he has less mana when I do kill his commander and stuff. Especially since he missed a land drop. Yeah, I think I'm getting that. That way my opponent's also less suspicious about me maybe having something like Settle the Wreckage in hand. Now, so much for getting rid of some of his mana. Not that it matter anyway, because Settle the Wreckage gives him mana, so we're still in pretty bad shape here. My opponent's still at 27 life, so yeah, I still don't really see too many ways for us to win, and he doesn't even attack with his Hellish Norn. Yeah, I'm just gonna quit this one, it's over. Settle the Wreckage ain't gonna do it. I'm not gonna go through another hour of play where I know we can't win. There's no point wasting that much time on the like 2% chance we have to win that. It's just a really bad matchup for us, and we also had a very slow start for the most part. I mean, we maybe even had a tiny bit of a chance if he attacked with both his creatures there, just maybe. If he didn't play around Settle the Wreckage, but unfortunately they were smart enough to do that, so we can't win that. Plus Atraxa is like a top tier deck probably. And I'd say Shalai is like mid tier at best, if not low tier, as far as power level goes. She's pretty weak, but she's fun. This hand's okay. Against the Missouri deck. I tried this guy out. And he was interesting, but he wasn't really great or anything. And it tends to be a pretty slow deck, so we don't have to be super in a rush this time. That can be a scary card. But it's not scary for a little while, so I don't need to rush to kill it. I think I'm just going to play this Lotus Cobra, try and get some mana generation or bait out some sort of bounce spell or something. Like that card. I think I'm just going to get the Shalai down, just make it harder for my opponent to target my stuff that he's going to want to target later. And one good thing about blue-green is it's another type of deck that isn't going to have a lot of board wipes in it because they just don't exist. Closest thing to a board wipe that blue-green would have in Brawl is like River's Rebuke or Whelming Wave. Whelming Wave is pretty bad, but River's Rebuke can be annoying. That also can take 6 mana. More green mana is good. Alright, so I want to get this Cathar Commando on the board and probably play the Adanto as well. Just to get some decent threats out. The Cathar Commando can kill his Ominous Seas when I need to. That's probably what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play this tapped. He wants to trade for my Lotus Cobra. At this point, I don't really care. It's fine by me. Definitely going to kill that Ominous Seas before that gets an 8th counter. Do it now. Play this just in case. Play his tapped out. Keep putting pressure on my opponent at this point, that's all I can do. He just drew a lot of cards, so hopefully he didn't draw a River's Rebuke or something, because that would definitely be really bad for us. That's fine. Really good card in that deck, though. Hey, that's cool. Although I really want to kill that Flux anymore. It's going to draw too many cards. But at least if Azuri is dead, it won't draw the cards. He's actually about to get that Replicating Ring off too, huh? Be nice to draw another artifact kill. Champion of Lambbolt will do. should have waited on that land. I forgot about the proliferate thing. Just wasn't thinking about the evolution stage at all. But I'm definitely going to kill this right now. Before my opponent untaps and has a counter spell. Then again, I don't have the mana to play this creature also, so it wouldn't have mattered if I waited on the mana. I don't think I care about this guy really at all. Rather do the damage to face. And if he wants to trade his Flux Channeler, I am completely cool with that. Alright then, that's fine by me. Yeah, I definitely don't think this guy is very good. I question my opponent's choice to play with a card like that. Even in a proliferate deck, he's just not that impressive. What is he doing with all this mana? It's scary. Why was he sitting there tapping it one at a time? I'm confused by that. Nine mana and blue-green. Red Rider. That makes sense, I guess. So my opponent's at 9. If I swing, he can block 3 and take 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, potentially. Not quite lethal, which is unfortunate. So I guess we're just going to hold back our attack this turn, probably. At least we'll be able to draw a card here. It's also tempting to just pump Shalai. Oh, would that actually be lethal? That might be lethal, huh? Alright, let's see. If I attack with everything, that's 3, 4, 5 getting through, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's still 1 short. If I had 1 more mana, it would actually be lethal, though. But I don't. So let's just get some stuff down here. Draw a card. Set up for next turn, potentially. Opponent has a lot of mana. Hopefully he can't do too much with it. This is where a deck like this loses if my opponent does have something really big here. Not Falling Flex, but like a River's Rebuke or something like that. I don't really care about Falling Flex at this point. Don't think that's going to be enough to save them. If he gets enough creatures down, maybe it'll be enough, but these little guys aren't going to be able to block, so they're not really going to matter. Just proliferating isn't too bad. We're doing just fine then. That's all his mana, essentially. I don't know if it's actual lethal, but it's got to be pretty close. I mean, then again, my opponent has 21 damage that he can hit with too, so still not quite lethal on us, but if he does make the mistake of attacking, we're in pretty good shape. So. It's 2 off. Okay, I think he just signed his death warrant there. It's 23, right? So yeah, we're fine. only need one. Very surprised he attacked there. I think that means he loses. That helps too. This giant killer can tap his only possible blocker right now. You need to tap it. Heroic intervention. So yeah, tap it to do that. Didn't even matter. Alright. Well, my opponent actually came close to killing us there. Pretty much out of nowhere. But wasn't quite enough. I think that game was about an example of what as good as that Azuri deck ever gets, which was kind of my experience with it. It was never quite. It was like it would almost get there, and it almost never did. I just don't think there's quite enough proliferating things in Brawl for it to be consistent either. This seems like a fine hand. Got a lot of ramp. We're up against a Yorick deck, so it's gonna be a tough match probably. Although Yorick is pretty slow, so we do have at least one removal spell to stop the first Yorick that gets played. But we don't have a particularly high damage hand, so hopefully it's going to be enough. Play the lowest first, actually. Because if I did draw something like Cultivate or something like that, I might be able to get some extra value. I'm just going to keep ramping for now. Shalai up later. This way also, if I do draw one of my protection spells, I can play Shalai and have some protection on it too. Right now it looks like my opponent doesn't have black mana yet, at least. Although he cast Dig Up for Island, which means he probably does have black mana in his hand. There's some black mana right there, so he's got all his colors. Well, we didn't draw any protection, sadly, but... So he's gearing up to play his Yorick, it looks like. So I do kind of want to save 2 mana. Actually, I'd like to put this. I don't want to even cast this thing. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play this. I'll just play the Shalai. This way I have mana open to cast Fateful Absence or even Giant Killer if he decides to do something else with a big creature. And I'll just pass for now. It is unfortunate that we didn't get a very aggro start though. I was hoping that we would draw like a 2 or a 3 drop that was going to be bigger. But we didn't. So now we've given Yorick time to start getting his Yorick stuff going, which is probably bad. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe he's got a bad hand. Alright, well that's good for us. He did not play his Yorick. Had to play a tap land. Alright, so opponent didn't really do anything. Buys us a little more time to try and get some threats going. More ramp is not really what I was looking for. So one option is to hold back. So you spend this 6 mana to put a +1/+1 counter on all my creatures at the end of his turn. And I would have 3 mana from this on my next turn, plus all this other mana, and I can play this and hopefully draw something useful. Or I could just like load these little guys out on the board, maybe play this as land, or well, I'll probably still hang on to this for a spell. Yeah, but I think I really want to use Fateful Absence on that Yorick as soon as he plays it, which I expect will be this turn. So I think I'm just going to hold off on Shalai's ability. I don't have that much to get with the mana I get from this thing, so this way I can hold up Fateful Absence. And I'm just thinking I might play this Giant Killer just as a thing to tap things, but I think it's likely he's got some big creatures in there I'll want to kill with this, like if he escapes his Uro or something like that in the near future. So I think I'm going to hang on to this. And hopefully if we cast this next turn we can get something good off of it. Alright, there's the Yorick. It does have a couple of mana left over, so we can't do anything too bad with it, but it might have like a counter spell for my big Let's hope he doesn't. But he does have the mana to just replay his Yorick again next turn. Cultivate is definitely not the draw I was hoping for. I think I'm still going to wait on the turn timber. I think maybe now I'm going to... Well, what if I do the +1 counters this turn? Can I do it and cultivate? So if I cultivate, right, that gives me a land, that gives me a mana from the Cobra. And then I can play the land, which gets me another mana from the Cobra. So it's basically 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could even play turn timber, but I think I'd rather use Shalai's ability. So I think I'm going to cultivate. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Ready for tap. Because I want to keep this Incubation Druid, because when it gets the +1 counter, I'll have 3 mana available to use Giant Killer if I need to. Swing for 4 for now. Still, I don't feel like we're in really good shape at this point. Our draws have not been very good the last couple turns. Definitely not the things I really wanted. Cautious Seeker, that's not good. But he's going to kill my Shalai now, but I can just replay her, so it's not even that bad. Honestly, that's probably better than I'm playing as Yorick again, honestly, so like, I'm okay with that. That's fine. So we're not really playing anything big, which is definitely good for us. But on the flip side of that, we don't really have anything going on either, so that's bad for us. Myrel isn't bad. I would have liked him a couple turns ago. mean, I have enough mana that I can play Myrel and Shalai. It's kind of cool. Still some. I think I'm still going to hang on to this giant killer though. I still feel like I'm going to need the chop down part of it to kill a creature. And I don't really need the land at all right now for the turn timber, so I'm just going to wait till I have a chance to cast that. Maybe we'll still get something cool from it. Alright, there's the Yorick, so right now it's not a problem, but next turn it probably will be because my opponent still has a lot of cards in his hand. And chances are he's going to have some other effects that are similar to like Hostage Shaper stuff. Oh man. Well, it's not really what I wanted to draw either, but it's also not too bad. I can cast it. What does it give? All my non-angel creatures indestructible until end of turn. I mean, I still don't feel like it's great, but it's all we got, so just tap him for mana. And I'll just cast it. And now we just kind of have to hope my opponent doesn't have anything too good in his hand. I don't understand the double block there, but okay. Alright, well, we got some damage in. But I feel like my opponent's about to turn the corner on this game and kind of waste us here. We'll see what happens. I mean, at least his first spell that he casts to kill a creature will only be able to hit my Shalai, but unfortunately I didn't get any way to protect her. Spark doubling Yorick, huh? That's going to be scary, maybe. Just gotta hope my opponent doesn't have anything really good to do with it. I hate being in that position where you just have to hope your opponent has a shit draw. I'll just put it there. Alright, so if that's the best answer he's got, we're in pretty good shape, I think. At least I can kill his other Yorick, too. Which I think I am going to do. Tap this guy, might as well. And I just swing with the angels. The other nice thing about Myrel too is that means my opponent can't really counter our stuff right now. So that's kind of nice. And I mean, we're setting up for a lethal next turn if my opponent doesn't have something really amazing. So we just have to hope he doesn't have like River's Rebuke or something like that. Another board wipe. Gonti's fine. Can't target me with that. Thanks to my Shalai. Oh, Drifter. He should have done that first. He probably forgot about the fact that he couldn't target me with Gonti. But now, even if he draws something, he doesn't have any mana left. So I think we win. Cool. That was a scary match. Definitely could have gone my opponent's way at any moment. But it worked out. And hey, that's 5 wins and 2 losses. Not a bad run for Shalai. Which, like I said before, I don't really even consider all that strong a deck. But you know, sometimes it can just beat people down. Things went our way that time. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Just please click like and subscribe. And if you have any comments about the deck, please leave them. I will read them. Until next time, happy gaming.